of foreign minister, which he was 8 years ago. It was Russia that Mr. Kazakbaev decided to visit first, which once again reaffirms the strategic character of our relations. This meeting today has once again reaffirmed, as my colleague had said, that our countries are allies and strategic partners, privileged partners, and our relations will be built based on mutual trust, respect, and consideration of interests of both parties. Russia has followed the developments in the territory of our ally, Kyrgyzstan, after the announcement of the results of the October 4th parliamentary elections there. Today we have said that, well, we believe that the situation is returning to normal, it's stabilizing, and the crisis has mostly been overcome. We have heard about the schedule for the upcoming parliamentary and presidential elections in Kyrgyzstan and the upcoming constitutional reform as well. We expect all these processes to be implemented based on domestic stability and harmony within the Kyrgyz people, so as to ensure long-term development of the Republic of Kyrgyzstan. And Russia will help our friends and partners in everything we can. Today we have discussed all aspects of our bilateral relations, and we have reiterated our willingness to deepen and expand political dialogue, expand economic and political ties, improve inter-regional cooperation. I have talked to the co-chairman of the Trade and Economic Cooperation Commission, and we are planning to meet before the end of this month. Of course, the global pandemic has changed the schedule. We had to postpone some of the events that had to do with the cross-cultural years of Russia and Kyrgyzstan. After all the limitations and lockdowns are lifted, we expect to continue to carry out all the events that have to do with the cross-cultural years, maybe postponing some of them to 2021. Our foreign policy cooperation is traditionally on a high level. The consultation plans between our foreign ministers, which is active until late next year, allows us to coordinate our efforts and help each other on international platforms. We have aligning positions in the UN, in the OSCE, in the CSTO, and in the SCO. Today we have discussed in detail the issues that are going to be on the agenda in the upcoming sessions of the institutions that I have just mentioned. We have talked about cooperation and integration within the Eurasian Economic Union. We have a shared vision of good prospects for further development of Eurasian integration as a way to improve the competition capacity of the competitiveness of our countries in the Eurasian space. We also welcomed the format, which has become a regular one, the meeting between leaders of Central Asia and Russia. This is a very productive format to improve bilateral and international cooperation. And the Central Asian Five and Russia on the 15th of October issued a joint statement explaining all the benefits that we can achieve through cooperation, and I hope and I expect that we will continue to cooperate. As the situation in Kyrgyzstan stabilizes further, we will continue to help our allies and friends.
Thank you very much. media representatives. During the bottom line of my first foreign visit after I returned to this post of the Foreign Minister of Kyrgyzstan, I would like to first and foremost thank my colleague Sergei Lavrov, Foreign Minister of Russia. I am deeply grateful for inviting me here to Russia on a working visit, as well as I am thankful for a very warm welcome towards our delegation. With much satisfaction, I see that despite the situation, we could exchange our opinions on the very ample agenda that we have. We discussed trade, economic relations, culture cooperation, we discussed security, and we took a closer look at our bilateral cooperation on the issue of international integration organizations, the CIS, CSTO, OSCE, and other organizations of the same kind. We confirm that we are ready to go on reinforcing the friendship and trust between our countries. We want to broaden our cooperation, our allied relations with Russia. And as Sergei Lavrov has just said, we have strategic partnership in between our countries. I also came with a very warm welcome from the head of Kyrgyzstan, and I gave his hello to Sergei Lavrov. We are willing to put our relations onto a whole new level so that our bilateral relations with Russia would enjoy a different quality. Russia is our strategic partner, as I said, and it's our ally. In this context, we will continue keeping close contact at all levels, reinforcing this mutually beneficial political dialogue, advancing joint projects and integrational processes here in Eurasia, as well as facilitating inter-regional cooperation as well. The political situation in Kyrgyzstan has stabilized. The political processes are now well within the boundaries of law, and the government of Kyrgyzstan is now fully legitimate. And we announced that we are fully committed to every international obligation, and we will continue implementing all bilateral and multilateral agreements that we signed up to. We'll continue protecting investors' interests as well as security and safety of foreign nationals who are currently in Kyrgyzstan. We underscore the need to continue holding events as part of the cross-cultural year between Kyrgyzstan and Russia, in the view of the fact that the situation with the COVID-19 pandemic is on demand now. Also next year, we will be holding some of the events which had to be postponed. Kyrgyzstan is deeply thankful to Russia for all the support towards the country and the people in this difficult period, which had to do with the political crisis which emerged after the elections and with the spread of the pandemic. We confirm that we stand ready to continue working together to fight against the spread of COVID-19, and we believe that we need further reinforce our cooperation on this track. We welcome Russia's preparedness to facilitate the operation of Kyrgyzstan's agencies, economy, because we are living through a very difficult time now. Due to the spread of COVID-19, we need to apply radical reforms now. We're going to do that. It's good to see that we will be given different benefits in the terms of taxation and marking of products, as well as technical support. Kyrgyzstan also welcomes Russia's effort to extend the discussion on the issue of immigration, especially now in the context of the COVID-19 infection. Namely, steps taken to ensure that labor migrants enjoy good living standards. And we will work on that together with Russia in order to create a better legal framework in order to ensure the rights of these people. I'm sure that we will continue practical work on the program of our cooperation between Kyrgyzstan and Russia, between our foreign ministries for the year 2020-2021, which outlines the main orienters for us in the foreign relations field. On behalf of the delegation, I can say that we are very much satisfied with the outcomes of this meeting, and we have a lot of plans now to work together after we complete this visit. I am convinced that these fruitful talks will further promote our relations, our strategic relations with Russia. Mr. Lavrov, in conclusion, I would like to thank you wholeheartedly, you and all of our Russian friends, for this very warm welcome and hospitality towards our delegation. Thank you so much. And we're starting the Q&A session. Thank you, Ms. Zakharova, Honorable Ministers. Good afternoon. This is Kyrgyzstan, Channel 1. Mr. Lavrov, a question for you. Due to the recent events, Russia has suspended sending financial help to Kyrgyzstan, and since the situation has stabilized and the government is now legitimate, is Russia going to renew financial aid to Kyrgyzstan? And I mean $100 billion, part of the Eurasian Fund.
The decision of the Eurasian Stabilization Fund to give the $100 million loan is still there. No one said it's gone, but we need to agree on further details. It is something our Kyrgyz friends know very well about.
I know that there were some other financial modalities, so do you mean that you renew all of them?
We have confirmed all the agreements that were coordinated with the previous government, including the explanation that right now the key issue is to define the terms under which this money, this aid will be provided.
Do you plan to renew flights?
Yes, it all depends on the epidemiological situation and the humanitarian situation, and this is being managed by those responsible for monitoring the coronavirus situation.
And the last question, what about the further meetings? Will there be a meeting between the leaders of the two countries?
I believe first of all, it's important for your leaders to finish the processes that are ongoing in Kyrgyzstan, like the constitutional reform and others, and I hope that very soon we will be able to talk about further steps.
All right, thank you. Could you please say that in Russian? I'll respond in Kyrgyz later on. Now let's talk in Russian, okay? Okay, are you satisfied with the outcomes of these talks and have you received all the answers?
өзүбүздүн коллегабыз Кыргызстандын да жакын досу Орусия Федерациясынын тышкы иштер министри Сергей Викторович Лавров менен кесиптешим менен экөөбүз баардык эки тараптуу көп тараптуу кызматташтык боюнча кеңири сүйлөшүү жүргүздүк. Азыр берген сиздер суроолоруңуздар боюнча мен өзгөчө ыраазычылык билгизет элем Сергей Викторовичка, себеби дегенде ошол стабилизация фонду тараптуу бериле турган акчага да эң жакын арада өзүнүн салымын кошуп жардам бере тургандыгын билдирди. Жана өзүңүз айткандай Бишкек менен Москванын ортосундагы авиа каттамдардын саны көбөйтүү боюнча дагы баардык аракеттер жасалат. Ал жакын арада боло турганы дагы маселе дагы ал дагы чечиле турган маселе болуп көрүнүп калды. Ал дагы эми албетте санитардык нормаларды азыр тартипке келтиргенден кийин боло турган болду. Жана ошол эки тараптуу көп тараптагы ортосундагы экономикалык байланыштарыбыз, баягы саясий консультациялар боюнча, коопсуздук маселелери боюнча, соода маселелери боюнча дагы баардык маселелерде мындай талаш тартыш жаратурган маселе болгон жок. көп маселелерди бир ортого коюп чогуу чечиле турган болуп көрүнүп калды.
Извините, пожалуйста, вы как-то, наверное, должны все-таки уважать хозяев, ладно?
Да, пожалуйста.
Во всех смыслах.
Пожалуйста. Вопрос вы все услышали, уважаемые коллеги.
Yes, of course. Well, you've heard the question. So the question had to do with whether we are satisfied with the outcomes of the talks. And I said already that Sergei Lavrov and I will discuss the whole array of our conversation, points, questions, consultations. We discuss trade and economy and everything. We discuss culture as well. We discuss security, bilateral and multilateral cooperation, among other things. Basically, we have no areas where we have any conflict of interest, so we are very much satisfied with the outcomes of these talks. Russia сегодня, please. Mr. Lavrov. Vladimir Putin said that the situation in Kyrgyzstan was a tragedy for the people of Kyrgyzstan, and he called upon others not to interfere. So you said thank you to Russia many times already. You said that Russia has contributed to civilization. What did you mean by that? Do you feel support from Russia? A good question, thank you. So Russia has been supporting us. Russia is our strategic partner, and we do feel this support not only when the time is difficult for us. No. We are allies, and that means that we need to be standing by each other at all times. We share history, culture, we have common economic space, so we always know that Russia is supportive of us. And again, I would like to thank the Russian leadership for this very special help towards us to help stabilize the situation in the country in the period after the election. Vladimir Putin commented on the situation several times, and we followed all these comments closely. We do understand that Russia was never supporting one political force over any other, never interferes in our domestic affairs. And I hope that Vladimir Putin will never turn a blind eye to the situation in Kyrgyzstan, because I know that he is aware that our people and our country is very grateful to Russia and to the Russian people. This is Russia 24, and I also have a question. So will you give guarantees of security and of immunity to former leaders of Kyrgyzstan? Because some say that these political figures should be illustrated. Well, that will be settled within the framework of our legislation. So what I want to say is that if these political figures have the status of ex-leaders, then it gives them certain guarantees, privileges, and immunity. That's what our law says. As for illustration of the officials, we have that happening today on a daily basis. The new prime minister, the new government has a very firm position on the fact that we should be continuing our uncompromising fight against corruption with all those bandits and crooks and criminals. And we do all within our power to ensure that no one involved in corruption would be able to become part of the government force again. So we will be doing that on a daily basis, on a monthly basis. So this is the end of our press conference. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.